Happy Friday. My name is Ruben Austria with Revolution Realty Capital. And today's live, we'll be discussing how to invest in your local community. Welcome to Learn Local Live. Welcome to Learn Local Live. Nicole Turner, how are you today?
Happy Friday, Ruben. Wonderful. It's always a day in paradise here in San Diego County.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'm in San Diego County in a different place. Well, we're right now mainly Southern California based, but hopefully we'll be nationwide. Nicole, I just want to say thank you and I have just gratitude for you because I'm guessing maybe 3 years ago we met at the Windmill in Carlsbad, California, and this was before Learn Local was really more than just an idea and me putting some silly videos up on the internet. Now, hey, look, we're building a community. We're putting together some really great content with real people in real time, and just appreciate the ability to collaborate with you, being someone who's not only in the business but in the business for with such experience and a lot of experience and knowledge, expertise to provide. So
I
really,
did too. I remember meeting you. And the fun thing is, look how far it's come. And I just love that we're bringing real things that people can stand on to our people around us that are watching. So kudos.
100%, 100%. Oh man, that's the whole point of being live. We get some unexpected visitors, but it's all good. Nicole, well, thank you so much. Well, hey, we're gonna get right into like why we exist and what we're up to. So let's just get into the Learn Local news of the day. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in today. Before we get too deep into the news, we're going to introduce our sponsor for today. Okay. All right. So for those of you who didn't catch that on the audio version of the podcast, Revolution Realty Capital is a sponsor. Actually, it's the main reason why we're coming here today as a community of real people in real time doing real deals is because, as a private lender for Revolution Realty Capital, I have met so many bad actors who are not certainly do not have any intention of doing any good, and they're just out there to be fraudsters and scammers. So happy to sponsor today's show. So let's get right into the news and what we're here to talk about. So today, the article that we're creating this episode about is this article from thestreet.com, and it's labeled "Americans Face Decision After Unexpected Housing Market News." New housing data has investors weighing whether real estate is still the smartest place for their money or whether a different path now competes. So one of the reasons why I actually wanted to bring this article up as a point of interest is because through my 20-year career in real estate, I've actually had the opportunity to actually be part of both options that's discussed in this article. After my conventional lending days in 2005, got into investing in real estate full time at the end of 2007, right when the great financial crisis, the GFC, was actually occurring. Became a fix and flip real estate developer. Did that for about 4 years. Had my bumps and lumps. Later on in 2019, I invested in a small business franchise for Farmers Insurance. So given those two different experiences, like I just thought this would be a really great article as a point of discussing it today. So what I want to do during this segment is introduce all the different educators that we have talking, and we're really going to have a lot more time to dig into it when we get into the insights. So without further ado, Nicole, my co-host, please introduce yourself and talk about how excited you're about this article.
Hi, you guys. Nicole Turner from Cell State Next Gen Realty Broker Owner here. My superpower, turning clients' stresses into absolute successes every day. Now, truly, Ruben, when I look at this article, my own opinion, I see building happening everywhere in our county. I see nothing but strength and appreciation. So when I look at unexpected housing market news, my answer is you're tuning into the wrong people. So that's what I would say. Truly groundbreaking everywhere. They just opened another place, commercial even is being built all around me, right? So even commercial is being built in plethora right now. Fallbrook, Bonsall, Valley Center. We have communities popping up everywhere. And when you have investors still investing, it is something to pay attention to. So in my world, it's always, do you want to be in 2035 and saying you shoulda, woulda, coulda? Or do you want to have somebody teach you how to leverage yourself through real estate?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we're going to have a lot of folks providing that information. So thank you, Nicole.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me on. John Case here with Duomo Realty, attorney and broker associate, serving the North County area, primarily out of Rancho Bernardo. And Ruben, when you sent me this article, really spoke to me because having that entrepreneurial spirit, it highlights some interesting points, but at the same time, I think they kind of blended a couple of things together that I think we'll be able to pull apart. I still think real estate is a viable option, and I still think there's plenty of opportunity to invest in your local community.
All right. Well, hey, can't wait to hear. Thank you for being here, John.
Excellent.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm Mike Officer. I am the founder of Score Experts Credit Consulting. We specialize in credit repair for the real estate industry. We work directly with agents and mortgage brokerages to help their clients to cross that finish line to home loan approval. This article highlights a pervasive mentality, both in the small business ownership investment sphere, the real estate investment sphere, and it parallels with people's credit and the improvement of their credit. So I'm looking forward to speaking on that more later.
Absolutely, Mike. Glad to have you here.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me again. As always, Ruben, really love coming on here. It's a great show, a great group of people. But with that, my name is Martin Magana with Oak Rock Realty. I'm one of the local investment realtors here, where we really specialize on the locating, underwriting, and then eventually purchasing your next fix and flip investment property, buy and hold, whatever it is. We have the experts, the local community that can share all the insights on the little niche expertise on every little area on why it's a good deal or a bad deal, whether it's a flip or any type of investment property. So Oak Rock Realty, my name is Martin Magana.
All right, Martin. Yeah, thank you as always.
Happy Friday, everybody. This is Eris, Mr. Carlsbad, Real Estate, EXP Luxury Broker Associates. And yeah, it's great to be back on the show today, seeing all of you. And we have a great article to talk about. And I'm looking forward to just breaking down what I think is the difference in terms of, investing in real estate versus, owning a cash flowing business. And there's pros and cons to both, but I think you need to understand what the goals are. So looking forward to breaking that down for you guys, and let's get into it.
Awesome.
Hey, everybody. Great to see you here today. Happy Friday. Tracy Hassey, VP Escrow Sales for Tycor Escrow Services. We are a Fortune 311 company with the financial backing and the top escrow experts to safeguard your real estate deals. I've been in the industry 20 years here in San Diego, so really understand the market and the experts that are here, for example, on the show today. The article is very interesting, and at the end of the day, is it real estate? Is it a business? It really is. The best investment is the one that you're going to truly understand, because it really boils down to that education, the due diligence. And that is what is going to reduce the risk, whether you're investing in real estate or a small business acquisition. So there's a lot to talk about here. It's going to be action packed. So let's rock and roll.
Thank you so much, Tracy.
Thank you.
Hey.
Quite true.
Oh, hi there. My name is Stephanie Sundell, Tiny House Realtor. I work with the WB Group, Whistle Beer Group out of La Mesa, San Diego area. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 32 years. I've had a photography business, so I've seen both sides. And to be honest, they're both hard, but which one is going to appreciate? And that one is definitely going to be your real estate side. You also have to be careful of the entrepreneur side because it's a lot of money to market. So got to be careful there. So yeah, we'll talk more about it later.
All right. Well, yeah, with that slew of educators on board, that's the whole reason why we created LEARNin Local Live, is to basically bring a lot of different context, context, experience, and expertise to the table. But before we go on, I really want to get into what LEARNin Local is and why we're here. So LEARNin Local represents a community of real people, meaning real estate professionals and local business professionals doing real deals, which means that they're actively working in the business, actively doing business in the industry, presenting information in real time. As we know, AI, the advent of technology, is making it way easier for misinformation to be present in the space. But we're here for very much different reasons. We're really here to educate, empower, and inspire real estate investors and local business owners to be their financial best self, and for that matter, really just their best self. Because quite frankly, if you don't know already, real estate and real estate investing is the number one path to wealth. It's, real estate's more common in as an asset class in the portfolios of wealthy individuals all across the country. So we do this by connecting, collaborating, and creating content, collaboration through deals that are inside the LEARNin Local Academy. And, we're able to create opportunities for ourselves and, for the clients that we serve. So I'm really, really excited to get into these insights. And, let's just get right into it. I know everyone's dying to drop nuggets of information. So let's get right into the insights.
I am on mute. That does not work on a Friday. Anyways, thanks for joining us today. We're going to get into the insights and talk about the strength of where your team is and what that means to you as the investor that's looking into real estate. One of the things still in this world that's great to invest your money in. Before we get started, let's thank our sponsor. Are you a seller looking to sell your home in today's market? Start right here at Sell Save Next Gen Realty. Our team is working every day. We strive for excellence, working for clients' top profits, top strategies, and top turnovers in today's market. Whether you're selling or selling to buy, we are the answer for you to call today. Contact us. We look forward to serving you. With that being said, let's get into it with our insight experts and bring them into the conversation. With everything that we are reading, you guys, and all that we are talking about today, I know my own world, even this morning, having news coming in, working for our clients is so key. And when I say that, I don't just mean closing the home, right? This morning, I get the call from one of my team members who said, we beat the Tidewater. What does that mean? Our seller, you guys all know how fun that is, right?
Yeah.
I was like, yes, my 100% success rate is not foiled in 20 years. But what that means is I had to argue to back one of our sellers here in this office because an appraiser did not see the value that we knew. And when we got the head-to-head and had to, Tidewater means that you have the opportunity to be able to talk from both sides and fight your opinion on both sides, and the seller won. Now, as an investor, you want that kind of brain behind your investment for so many reasons. There are so many people in today's world that are underselling, under renting, and hello, it's your asset, right? I always tell people, like, don't make a out of yourself with your asset, and you guys can shorten that asset and see where I was going with that. John, I know you had some good opinions too on talking about technology collaboration. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, let me congratulate you on the Tidewater success. It's never fun to have to go up and have to argue on your behalf of why you believe what you believe, but congratulations on that. That's fantastic. You know, it's funny, you bring up collaboration, and I feel that that is essentially what happens in any kind of transaction, right? It takes so many people to actually get you home, if you will, whether it's you know, listing side agent, selling side agent, the collaboration with a quality escrow partner, having title people you can count on. Like, the information that I'm getting is actually something that I can build upon. And if we're looking at real estate now as an investment vehicle, these are the types of folks you want to have around you that you can go to, that you can have clear communications with, that are going to give you the skinny on what's really happening, right? At the end of the day, it's your money. You're trying to make your money make more money for you. And this is a big decision. And so the folks that you talk to, and more importantly, can trust the insights that they bring, is incredibly important. I mean, Martin, I don't doubt that when you're looking at a deal, when you're looking at the figures, you have some folks that you go to, that you talk to. Hey, you know, what are your insights or thoughts on what we're putting together? Because at the end of the day, it's the dollars that count, correct?
It's always on mute. Always on mute. You'd think by now I'd have it. No, exactly to your point. When I underwrite a deal, or when we look at something, especially something like we'll look at later, like a more luxury property, I like to really branch out and get multiple opinions from different underwriters, because someone might see something from a different perspective that I would have missed. And particularly one of my colleagues, Tony, he has a lot of experience in the construction side. So there might be a few little niche things that I wouldn't know because I don't have the experience in that field, that he might see, or that I might have missed. But with that, it's like surrounding yourself with people who are smarter than you, have been in the industry longer, or have more experience, is always a great thing to do, especially in this industry. Because one, you'll see stuff that you would have missed because of the lack of experience. But two, you'll just get a much deeper understanding of the real estate industry, of the field, and a much deeper understanding of what you're doing and the people you're meeting. So just their insights are always invaluable. Look at the group of people we have here. They're all over different backgrounds, all this, and now all these investors are going to be able to take away from every little different perspective. So
absolutely. Hey, so one of the things I will mention in my stint as a full-time investor, I actually happened to get into that way before I knew the power of networking and being able to trust the right people. So unfortunately, I got by a lot of different contractors who really just, you know, had it in mind that they were going to make more money on the deal than I was. So it's and that's one thing that I think people, because this pod or this production doesn't have to be about necessarily shining all the positive light on real estate. I mean, it is not easy to get the collaboration and cohesive effort of 10 different people that you need to get a project done properly. And I will not understate the fact how important it is to have the right people to get things done. In fact, we need a contractor here to actually be saying, to be speaking on these things. But man, it was just one time where I actually had 3 projects in line that were being bid by one contractor. They won because apparently they were the cheapest at the time. And then, being capital strapped, didn't know what to do. It just led to a bad decision. And I was just, that was a 6-figure lesson that, not
Ouch.
learn again.
Call that the hallway of death.
And Ruben, to your point, real quick, the idea of working with quality folks, like the contractor scenario, I'm literally dealing with that right now, talking to the district attorney on a case, because I have clients who unfortunately had a similar scenario to what you did. They interviewed some folks, they thought they had a good one, and ultimately they didn't branch out. They didn't speak out to other people to get an opinion. They were solely swayed by that attractive price of what the contractor was saying. And here we are 2 years later trying to literally put their house back together, guys. I'm not kidding. Like, their house is in shambles. And so this idea of collaborating and knowing who you're dealing with in the real estate's so vast. There's so many folks that touch real estate that having that ability, like Martin said, to be able to trust somebody's opinion of who you're getting into business with is extremely, extremely important.
Absolutely. 100% agree. 100%.
Well, oh, go ahead.
Sure, I'll chime in. Having a good team around you and your clients is paramount. And I think from my experience, again, we do credit repair specifically for the real estate industry. I built this business after about a decade of experience in real estate. And this article really highlights a mindset that is pervasive in home buyers, business investors, et cetera, also people who need to repair their credit. And I think as a team of professionals, it's important we understand our role in how we need to guide our clients to get them into the right mindset. This article highlights the mindset of, oh man, the rate of appreciation isn't as good as it used to be. Maybe I shouldn't invest in this. The interest rates are higher than they were last month. Maybe I shouldn't buy, right? All of these fear-based mentalities that cause people to hesitate and not take action. I run into it daily with people who need to repair their credit. Getting your credit score into the 700s or even 800s is an investment that will repay itself in thousands and thousands of dollars of saved interest, opportunities to invest financially, opportunities to buy real estate, opportunities to start a business and get business funding. So this idea that I don't need it right now, so I don't want to spend $1,000 to repair it, is again this fear-based mentality. So it is our role as a team of professionals to talk to these people about this is an investment that's going to return on itself. Just because the current times are different than they were a few months ago or from last year does not mean that this is not a good place to put your money. And we're here to educate you on what are your priorities, what does the plan look like, what are the pitfalls that you need to be aware of, and educate you so you can do your due diligence and make an educated decision and not be held back by a fear-based mentality.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Mike. That's 100% true.
Yeah, I love what everybody's saying, because collaboration is key, because at the end of the day, think about this. In real estate, what I love about real estate, one transaction impacts so many parties. We've got the listing agent, the buyer's agent, the lender. We've got all the affiliate services. There are so many hands in that real estate pot that once we take it in escrow to that finish line, there are so many families that are being fed, so many people that do prosper. So, and I read, or actually I was on a Tom Ferry training, and he put up a chart that is all about U.S. housing prices. And this source is from Freddie Mac. It's an incredible, I wish I could put it up here on the screen, but I just had this before the podcast. Over the past 75 years, housing prices have only declined 7 times. And that really was that window like 2007 to 2011, and then a few before that. But when you look at that and you see that graph, you're like, holy cow. I think we get all, caught up in the news and everything that's going on. Sometimes you have to just take a step back and look at the reality that real estate long-term, especially here in Southern California, it's a winning strategy for investing. And the bottom line is, if you're an investor, you can invest in a business as well. You can invest as like basically, what is it called? ETA is the idea of becoming an entrepreneur or business owner by buying an existing business as opposed to starting from scratch. They talk about that in the article as well. So the reality is it really boils down to, as I said right from the beginning, is the best investment is one that you truly understand, right?
You just hit it on the head.
Yeah, you took some of the words out of my mouth, Tracy, and I think everyone's made excellent points. I was going to say, the American housing market has only gone down a handful of times in history, and you just proved my point. So I think betting against that, I think one of the problems with, today, right, is it seems like there's like 3 news cycles in a day. You get the morning news, afternoon news, evening news, and we're all inundated, you know, on our phones all the time with stuff in our scrolls. And so I think it leads to this instant gratification. Everybody wants everything right now. And then it's just, there's so much, you know. And so I think one of the downsides to that is you get these kind of prisoner of the moment, you know, kind of news pieces that come out. And yes, you know, appreciation, you know, over the last year has gone down. But are we really going to sit here and talk about that? Let's look at the last 10 years in San Diego, right? I can guarantee you almost every single house has doubled in value in the last 10 years. So, I mean, if you're, you know, thinking, hey, I'm going to buy a house, you know, unless you're fixing up a house to sell it short term as an investment, you know, real estate is a longer term investment strategy. So, you know, I think that is kind of one of the areas where this article falls a little short. But I do also understand that they're trying to create content and you know, put out stuff for people to consume. So, you know, I don't, you know, and certainly, you know, I think investing in your community and having a small business, it's a huge part of our economy. So those are really important too. But yeah, you just need to understand what you're getting into, and there's no rule that says you can't do both.
Well, and understanding is the key point, right? Because truly, every single time we're all representing on this screen, every single home deserves a different strategy. And I think the consumer understanding that is so invaluable that it's not even funny. Because here's reality. If I look at my numbers today and I verse it just from last year, I'm still in a higher price point today than I was at this time last year. I'm not appreciating like crazy like 21 when we only had 1,700 homes on the market, but there's understanding behind that as to why that is. We were going to really dangerous places when our appreciation was that quick, right? We've totally stabilized, but we are still doing this in San Diego County. And truly, in today's world, what I can do with someone who's owned a house in 5 years used to take me 25 years, right? The average consumer that owns a home would not be able to gain that kind of appreciation. I just closed one last week and they have only owned their home for 3 years, right? That's not something we normally can say can happen in today's world. Stephanie, I know you have some insight too on strategy, because strategy is key. And understanding from a consumer perspective without ChatGPT, because we all know that leads you, or any of the other tools, they can lead you down a rabbit hole, no? And Ruben, I've been there with you. They cost a lot of money when we make mistakes, right? And a lot of times with consumers, we're the ones cleaning up the messes and trying to make it not so painful the next time. So Stephanie, what's your insight on the understanding and the strategy behind what you do?
Oh, wow. There's so much understanding. I have in big red letters here, get in that room, understand what you're doing first before you do it. I see so many people in like the zoning permitting department getting really excited. They want this house, but yet they want to do something that is not allowed on there. And then they get in a whole bunch of trouble. So I think somebody said, you know, understand everything first before you make that decision. And just going back from my entrepreneur, you know, sometimes it takes someone that has been in the business so long to understand it, like photography, for instance. You know, you're not just going to jump into a photography business, a small business. You've got to really understand it and know that field and live it, understand it completely before you jump in. So I vote for real estate. I mean,
Martin, what say you in terms of the strategy? I know that there's a lot of strategy that goes into every single investment that you talk about with your clients.
Yeah.
What do you have to say?
Especially now, and especially in San Diego, where everything is so expensive, and you really need to just lock down your investment strategy going into it from the beginning. You can't kind of be halfway through the project and then realize that you'll get held up because of zoning or because of something with taxes. So the kind of way we approach any type of real estate investing is obviously first you have to identify and underwrite the proper property to make sure that it will do what you want. And that's where you kind of have to determine what your investment strategy is going to be. Is it going to be a buy and hold, a fix and flip? Is it going to be short term? Is it going to be long term? And then once you do that, once you underwrite the deal and you see that, wow, the ARV here, the after repair value, it has the numbers I want, it has the exit I want, and I'm going to be profitable, I'm going to be able to make money on this deal, you have to start looking into the next couple steps before you even approach the project, the financing, the cash flow, if it's going to be a buy and hold property. And then once you have all those pieces lined up, then you can finally go in, you can actually get the property. But then you're going to have to make sure you have the taxes, the insurance, if there's any legal issues, if there's any liens on the property. And then at the end of the day, the most important thing is applying your strategy. So if it's a buy and hold, if you're going to 1031 that in the future, if you're going to be short-term, finding an investor, making sure you have all the proper channels lined up to make sure that you can actually get rid of this project if it's something you're planning on getting rid of in a short amount of time, because most investors go in, they love the property, they fall in love. Falling in love with a property that isn't a good deal is what I see the biggest issue is and biggest hurdle is for most investors, because they go in, they think it's going to be an easy, quick project. And then next thing they know, they're in the negative, they're in the red because they didn't account that it was going to sit for an extra 6 months than they thought. And then all of a sudden they're scrambling to just get rid of it however they can. And they're just eating up at all their profits, if any. So making sure you go in with a solid strategy, a solid plan, and having a little buffer for everything that could go wrong. Don't just assume it's going to be a perfect deal just because it is on paper.
100%. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I'm gonna follow that point up, Martin, by, just like everyone who says, hey, buy real estate, fix it, and then flip it. The reason I had gotten into a local small business at the end of 2019 is because I was actually a consultant for Farmers Insurance, talking to people about buying these individual agencies. So before I was even a consumer of the product, I was actually someone who was actually knowledgeable about everything that had gone into the business. But what I didn't realize actually when I got into the business myself was that I didn't really like the nature I didn't really like talking about insurance in the same way that I actually talked about it as a business consultant. So as much as that it might look like a good thing, I had bought the business. It was making over $100,000 a year. I bought it at a multiple of 1.5, which seemed like it'd be a really good investment, which is in the article, you'll see that a lot of operating businesses are bought at 2 or 4 times the multiple of their income.
Yeah.
I had bought it at 1.5, thought I was getting a great deal. Come to realize that, hey, you know what? I really don't like the nature of insurance as it relates to the volume business that selling piece of real estate really, you sell a lot less real estate units and you have to sell a lot more pieces of insurance to make the same kind of living per se. So it's a completely different flipped model in terms of, and some people like chocolate and some people like vanilla, and then that's really that's really what it comes down to, everybody, right? And you just don't know what you know. And on top of that, COVID happened the next year, so that didn't help at all. But John, what are your insights on this?
You bring up an excellent point, Ruben, which is the article mentions entrepreneurship through acquisition, and on its face it sounds easy, right? I'll just buy a business and then I'll run it. But I think it heavily downplays the idea of running a business. like this idea that I'm just going to jump in, like me, for example, I'm just going to jump into insurance. Ruben, that sounds great. Your multiple sounds amazing. I want to buy that. I don't know the first thing about insurance. I don't know. I don't know the lingo. I don't know the strategy. I've never really looked at it. So going back to this idea of the core strategy being the talking point, whether it's real estate or even a business, knowing what you're getting, you're so important, because on paper, yeah, it looks great. I'm going to make $1 million and ride off into the sunset. And then all of a sudden, when you're sitting at your first insurance conference and you're like, oh my God, I cannot stand this place. What am I going to do? That's when the reality hits you. And having, unfortunately had multiple businesses myself that didn't go quite exactly as I had planned, this idea that, I'll just use my leverage to just jump into something that somebody else built. That human capital that person put in to make that thing real is substantial. You can't underestimate what that really is. A lot of times I'll open it up and say potentially for all our businesses, the clients keep coming back because we're that central focal point that established that relationship. They know they can pick up the phone and talk to ours, talk to John, talk to Mike. And so when all of a sudden that's gone, it doesn't necessarily quite transition as smoothly as you might think. So overall, I think the article, although it points out an excellent avenue, which is, yes, you can certainly purchase a business and get yourself incorporated into something new that way. knowing what you're getting yourself into. Martin talked about it on the real estate side of looking at your numbers, figuring out what your overall sunk costs are going to be, your holdings, and ultimately what you can walk away with. I think that same strategy should be applied when you're looking to purchase a business. And caution if you're jumping into something you've never looked into, because all of a sudden you might find yourself drowning in something that what was supposed to be your way out ends up being more of an albatross around your neck. That's a real reality that sometimes I think people don't really look into.
So many great, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think any financial advisor is going to tell you that diversification is important for any wealth building strategy. I think all types of investment are worth looking into, and it's regarding your own personal situation about which one works best for you now and how are we going to plan to add diversity to your portfolio. And when it comes to credit, I wish and I hope that everybody deals with borrowers that have 800 credit scores or a huge chunk of cash just laying around that they can buy with. But for those other portion of the pie chart, the people that earn enough income to invest into real estate or to invest into a business, but they don't have the credit score, that's where I come in and I can help.
Awesome, Mike.
Oh, so many great points. And really, it's all about the investor's goals, the risk tolerance, and available time. And something that Coach Rue said, you made some choices without really connecting with the experts in some of your business decisions, which led to disaster, right? And I know so many people that have been in that situation where it's like, they read what they think is the good stuff and don't talk to the experts, and what happens? They get screwed, excuse me, but at the end of the day, the people, and it always comes back to the people is where the gold is, because each one of us here has expertise. And I think no matter what you're going to invest in, you want to talk to the experts, the feet on the street, the people that have that wealth of knowledge and wisdom to set you up for your greatest success. And no matter what the business, security matters more than ever. And really, as transactions become more digital, protecting clients from wire fraud, cybercrime is just as important as negotiating the deal. I was talking to an agent yesterday. He has a friend in the skincare business. They got hacked. They sent a shipload to the wrong ship to the tune of $500,000 because they got the right shipping paper, and the ship or the truck, pulled up, and they shipped off, gave away $500,000 worth of lotions and potions. That happened to a contractor who was paying the wrong subcontractors. And in escrow, people every day are getting hacked. So you really, really want to make sure, no matter what business you're participating in, make sure you are safeguarding your assets, your everything around that business, and working with the experts that are going to help you do that. And that's what we do at Ticor Escrow Services.
100%, Tracy. And we're going to get into our last insight here. Really appreciate all the insights that we've had so far. And given the fact that everyone really here exists in a different market and different industry, I want to have everyone have the opportunity. Well, starting with John Case here. So let's talk about how opportunity exists in every market.
Absolutely, Ruben. I really appreciate that. And if you guys will bear with me and take a trip down memory lane, I've been selling real estate now since 2011. And if I'm being honest with you, at no point has the news ever said, this is an amazing time to buy. Right now, drop everything, go outside, park your money. When I started, it was everything's terrible. The market is crashing. It's not worth it. Everything's undervalued. When things started going up, it was like, this is a sham. It's a house of cards. It's never going to last. Don't put your money there. When the interest rates stabilized pre-COVID, it was prices are too high. There's no way prices are going to continue to go up. Let's stop. Then COVID hits, and all of a sudden it's like everything's going to crash. We can't sell any real estate. Oh my God, the sky is falling. Prices double. And everybody's like, oh my God, this is crazy. What's going on? And here we are today, 6% interest rates holding steady now for multiple years. And everybody looking at themselves going, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? So in 14, 15 years of doing this, ladies and gentlemen, never, ever, ever have I heard, it's the time, go do it now. And that segs directly into this idea that opportunity exists in every market, ladies and gentlemen. The reality is real estate can be viable in almost every market. You just have to understand the cycle that you're in and your overall objective of what you're trying to do. If you were looking at real estate in the, let's call it the late 80s, mid 80s into the 90s, interest rates were even more significant than they are today. What a lot of people did, what did that introduce? That introduced seller financing, that introduced long-term holds, that introduced different vehicles to sell real estate. When we got into the early 2000s, into the crash, what happened? Market share. I saw investors coming out of the woodwork with cash, snagging up properties left and right. While everybody else was scared, the cash came in, snagged it up. All of a sudden, we got cash flows, we got inventory, we got market share. Pre-COVID, what did everybody do? Secure housing, first-time home buyers all over the place. That's what really drove those prices, made everybody want to basically secure their own space. And so it all depends on where you are. If you were an investor trying to buy during COVID, that's really challenging because you're competing with other folks who really want to buy a home. But now, as an investor, if you can leverage yourself and if the deal makes right, it might make a little sense. Alternatively, as a cash buyer, right now, I was able to pull some information. Redfin reports that 28% of home buyers in Q1 were cash. So cash is still a great strategy for folks who have that ability to not take on leverage. Likewise, Redfin reported that investors purchased around 19% of homes in Q1. Again, cash or low leverage. So it really depends on where you sit on the spectrum and what you're trying to do. Some folks maybe just want to put their money into a hard asset that they can watch appreciate over time, collect the cash flows, maybe pass it on to the kids. Somebody else might want to work with Martin, be able to buy cash, turn around, fix it and flip it, make some quick money, relatively speaking. Other folks may just be looking for tax help, right? Real estate can serve as a great vehicle to offset some taxes depending on the structure that you've built. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to allude to is that real estate is an asset class. It's not necessarily not like a business. It's really a bunch of different businesses all held together under this term real estate. And it comes down to knowing who you're working with, what your overall objective is, what you want to do with your money, and then making a determination if that particular cycle can work for you. Right now, what I'm seeing, a lot of folks are using this time right now to get into their home. Even with high interest rates, sellers are willing to provide some assistance, buy downs, credits, things of that nature. Investors that have cash on hand have the ability of a pick of the litter, if you will, much more inventory to select from, maybe can be a little more selective as to the deals. And folks who are looking to liquidate still have these high prices, as Nicole noted, as far as the appreciation still there. It may not be gangbusters, right? We're not seeing 10% year over year, but the reality is the prices are holding and going up steadily. And so it just depends on what end of the spectrum you're looking at. And so this idea of who you collaborate with and who you talk to is important, because if you go back to where I started this, it's always scary. It's always terrible, and it's never a good time. So that's the general, that's been my business the last 15 years as a whole.
Never a good time. Thank you, John. Really appreciate the
Couldn't have
comment.
said it better myself, my friend. Yeah, it's never great, right? But the reality, of course, we know is that there is opportunity out there, and there are great deals to be had, and real estate is one of the best investments that you can make. I'll be brief, guys, because I do have to run. But one point I wanted to make is just that, a lot of times I'll come across clients and customers, and they just assume that they can't buy a home. Maybe their credit score isn't, 700, 800. Maybe they don't quite have all of the down payment together. But that's why you have to work with any of the people that are on this show, any of the experts on here, because there are ways to make it very possible. There are great programs out there. There are things that we can do to boost your credit score in a relatively quick period. There are tricks that we can do. You can buy with zero down payment. There are programs out there for that, guys. So I think the big thing that I would tell anybody is don't just assume that you can't make it work. You have to pursue it, with a vengeance, and make sure that you can get, in, because when you get in, you're gonna over time get the appreciation, and you're going to win on that investment in real estate. It's why I do what I do. I'm passionate about helping people, accomplish those goals. So, and I know everyone else is on here too, but I'm going to turn it over to Stephanie, and then I got to run, guys, but have a great rest of the show. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Have fun. Good luck on that listing. Go get them. So yes,
Good luck.
opportunity does exist in every market. And in a downturn right now, that's really where you want to take advantage of it. I'm seeing prices go down, and yes, the interest rates are at 6.5 today. But again, it goes back to that, marry the house, state the rate thing. I got into my house and it was 6.7%. I just refied, thank God. So, but at least I got my house, and that's kind of what I'm telling the first time home buyers and even the second time home buyers. If you love it, buy it. Right now, there's not a lot of people after the same property. So once those interest rates go down, it's going to become a frenzy again, and it's going to be multiple offers. And, people that have regular FHAs and VAs are going to lose out with those cash buyers. So right now is the time if you are an FHA or VA. There's also the assumables. Those are huge right now if you're a VA. And that's something to talk to all of the professionals about on this call, on this podcast. Assumables, you could just go in for a very low down, just, get that gap funding, and you could have a 2.3%. So that's more to talk about on a one-on-one, of course. But with the new Fed chair in his seat now, he only wants to look ahead. So we're not going to look in the rearview mirror anymore. We're only going to look ahead at what's coming in the future. And he says, watch the Treasury bond. So that's what we're going to do.
Absolutely. And one of the things I do want to look ahead to is that, I know that opportunity exists in every market. We need to find a local business broker talking about all these local businesses that might be available. Before we run out of time, we'll probably have a little bit more time to talk about provide one more comment on the insights of what we're doing. But as a community, we do deals and talk about deals inside the school. So want to transition really quick to that segment. Martin, you want to take it away?
Alrighty, time for the Learning Local deals, where we're going to bring you a real deal in real time. That being said, this couldn't have happened without our sponsor today, so I'd like to thank Farmers Insurance.
Protection that puts you first. Your home and your family deserve security, stability, and peace of mind. For every mile, every moment, every memory in motion. Because every drive deserves to get you home safely. Comprehensive solutions that safeguard your operations, assets, and future. Farmers Insurance, because your life deserves protection that truly matters.
Perfect. Thank you, Farmers Insurance, Mr. Patrick Ono, amazing individual. But with that, let's get started with our deal segment. So we're going to be going a little bit north up, right above Santa Monica in the Encino area. This is a deal that is currently under contract. It's in the process of being acquired. It's more of a lending deal, as in they're trying to put together the financials for it. But the actual property itself is amazing. It's more of a luxurious flip, especially at this price range. We don't see too many of these in California right now in terms of fix and flips. But even when you do come across these could be a great opportunity, as long as you understand that it's going to cost a lot more to renovate purely on the size, and obviously being a luxury price point, you're going to have to put luxury finishes, especially if that's what the neighborhoods around them are looking like. So this property is a 3-bedroom, 4-bathroom, sitting on just below a half-acre lot. The ARV is estimated at around $4.2 to $4.8 million. So there's a really big spread there, assuming that the property was purchased at I believe it was right under $3 million. They're estimating about 500K in renovation. I think it could go a lot higher than that, especially because of the luxurious level of finishes that you're going to need on everything. And if the curb appeal in the backyard also has to match that kind of standard of the property, you can't just have a mediocre front of house, back of house, and then have just like a mansion sitting on the property. So that will drive its value way down if you don't have everything matching to the same finishes. And overall, it just needs a big cosmetic renovation. So it's not too much. But that being said, for the sheer footprint of it being 4.5 thousand feet, even at a cosmetic level, it's a lot of money that's going to be dumped into this property. So, and with that, the bed and bath, I think it needs to convert one of the rooms into another bedroom and maybe add another bathroom, because at that sheer size, you lose a lot of value by not having the extra bedroom. But with that, I'll let Ruben take over the lending side, because this is really what this property entails.
100%. And I appreciate the quick overview, Martin. So this deal actually came across my desk and inbox. And, I'll actually talk about this deal as a word of caution to many investors. A lot of investors who may have the capital put down payment for something like this, they actually believe that, or they think that 90% leverage on a fix and flip property, especially on a luxury property, exists. Typically, it doesn't. Quite frankly, a lot of investors who are experienced, who've done, let's just say, 3 deals in the past 3 years, would typically only get maxed out at about 85% of purchase price. And given the fact that it is a luxury purchase buy, it's almost like a, I don't want to say a trap for any investor that might have the capital to actually get into it, but really be attracted by maybe a larger ARV. So I will say that as a private lender, these are the deals that we actually we actually kind of like pause and put the brakes on, primarily because a luxury flip like this typically takes a lot more discretion in terms of like what kind of renovations that you do, so it matches the market or like exceeds the expectations of anyone who's purchasing luxury property. It's almost like it's almost like what we were talking about in terms of like the people who look to buy, flip, and sell. They think that it might be a simple formula, but for particular use cases and scenarios, something like a luxury property with high ask for leverage, it just might not necessarily be something that's feasible. But I see deals like this all the time. Would love to, Stephanie, I know that you deal with properties. I'm not sure how many fix and flips that you've purchased or bought, and mainly this doesn't really qualify as a tiny home.
Yeah, this is the exact opposite. That is that'd be too much for this girl, but I've done 5 flips, and 60 to 70 cent deal is my jam. What are they asking for this?
Oh, they're asking for they're asking on the inbox. They were asking for 10% down, 100% or fine, 100% renovation. And typically, when you get to something like $500,000 in renovation, you also have to have the experience of having done projects of similar size as well. So typically, you run into a lot of investors who've done 3 regular flips and they want to do a fix and flip like this, and it just doesn't work out. So I would say, whoever you're dealing with on the financial end, make sure that you do your due diligence and make sure that you're looking at the right properties, working with the right realtor, like you, Stephanie, or you, Nicole, to actually show them projects that actually would lead to the success. This would not. I imagine this wouldn't be a property presented to an investor who hasn't done anything like this.
Ruben,
sorry,
go ahead.
I'll chime in real quick. I mean, I look at it and like the average consumer is going to look at that and go, I can make almost $1 million on this project. That's
right.
Literally the math, right? And I look at it and I go, no, you're not. Because we have holding time. I need heavy pockets to carry you through this project. You never know, too. There's always risk in real estate, right? So we're flipping, we're getting ready. And then our neighbor just panic sold 3 doors down. So things can still change when we're in this chamber. And that's always the biggest thing for people in understanding in their investment, is to be able to withstand I always call them landmines and booby traps that we could run into. It could even be the lender having financing issues or something happening with the contractor. This is definitely the house you can't use those low end finishes for. So those are dollars, right? The contractors being someone you can trust, dollars. Understanding, carrying yourself through a project like this, dollars. And so when I look at 800,000 or more, in this price point, I look at it as like, just walk into this thinking you're going to make 100,000 and then be happy when you make more. Yeah. Is really how I would love to understand things like that.
This is the secret of life, isn't it? Low expectations.
Yes. Yeah, because when you make 400 and it only took you half as long and everything went beautifully and you had no booby traps, it's a great place to be.
It's all about the strategy and like going in, assuming the worst case scenario for everything, like budget for that, and then it's just extra money in your pocket and you won't have any fear of just going into the red. But with that, the investor on this property, he has done, I believe it was 3 flips in the past. Would that be enough of almost like a portfolio of deals for him to, assuming he has good credit, be able to qualify for something of this scale in terms of like the lending he wants in the 90 to 100% range? Or
I actually never got to the point of actually talking to the investor over the phone because we on a luxury property like this, we wouldn't offer up to 90% financing. Yeah. So it's
you have to find the right lender for this who deals with this kind of higher end.
We have to look for someone who's probably in Encino, who probably has a lot of room on their HELOC to give you some cash. Probably wouldn't be an institutional type of private lender or someone who does any national deals, I'm thinking. So,
and that's all because of risk.
Yeah, it's all because of risk. So if anyone knows anybody in Encino who wants to make some possible cash, then by all means, introduce them to the Academy. So without we want to just make sure that we don't run out of time. So Martin, I really appreciate you running through that deal. If you want to be part of going through more deals with us, please join the LEARNin Local Academy on school. So Tracy, without further ado, let's make our way to LEARNin Local events.
Awesome. Love the dance party music. It really sets the stage for the LEARNin Local events. Before we roll into that, I want to thank our sponsor.
To be in a room filled with other hosts, a community that shares the same vision, goals, and dedication for hospitality, it is truly a remarkable feeling because I've learned there's so much value in the human connection that can never be replaced. Being a host means more than providing just a place to stay. Hearing stories from guests with their friends and family, the meals they shared together, or the special occasions they had come for. This was when I realized our home was also becoming part of their memories. Becoming a host changed my perspective on life by showing me how rewarding it is to serve others. As I host more and more guests, whether they are here to celebrate a happy occasion or by an unfortunate event, everyone has a story, and how we choose to interact can make their day better.
Thank you, Roger Lee. What a great commercial. All about the connection, the people, right? Absolutely. But we do have some upcoming events, so let's roll. So every Friday, listeners, mark your calendar, 11:30 a.m. California time. We are live, LEARNin Local Live. We've got the experts, the real conversations, the local experts, and powerful insights to share for you, to guide you in your investment strategies. So look forward to seeing you next week on LEARNin Local Live, and the following week and every week after. So we also have here LEARNin Local Carlsbad, Mr. Carlsbad Ayers, who was on the show. He and his brother John are the Mr. Carlsbad team. Local people, local knowledge, local opportunities. That will be Monday at 1:30 p.m. Hosted by Mr. Carlsbad and Coach Rue.
I want to mention really quick, we are in the beta phase. We're really working to build our network of California real estate professionals. So if you're in Carlsbad, you want to be part of our niched podcast of LEARNin Local Carlsbad, where we actually get into more of the quality of life, the market trends, and the economic development of what's happening in the city of Carlsbad. There's a lot going on in every city, and our goal is to essentially highlight and create educators, nationwide that would be able to assist in that niche content. So we're looking. So don't join. Please ask your Carlsbad colleagues to participate. Thanks, Tracy.
Absolutely. And so Inside San Diego, that is going to be an extraordinary event with an all-star lineup of speakers on Thursday, August 13th, 1 to 3 p.m. at Cape Ray Beach Resort in Carlsbad. We're going to have Jordan Marks, our San Diego County Tax Assessor. We're going to have Justine Murray, who's the VP of Government Affairs for Downtown San Diego Partnership, and we're going to have our Ticor Title Operations Manager, Ticor Escrow Services VP of Escrow Operations and Administrations. It's going to be an epic lineup with incredible networking. So you'll want to save the date and it's on Eventbrite. Thursday, August 13th. Get registered, bring your colleagues. It'll be a ton of fun. And we've got some incredible sponsors there. And then we've got Brew RE, Rooftop Edition, San Diego's real estate community. That is Wednesday, July 15th, 5:30 to 7:30 at the West SD Apartments.
I plan on going. Hopefully I can see some of you guys there. That'll be a really good opportunity to get together for sure.
Have you been to that one before, Ruben?
Yeah, Andrew Greer puts on really good events.
That's where I met Ruben almost a while ago now.
Nice.
It's our anniversary, man.
Well, it's so fun to go to connect live time. You get to meet, the experts on the podcast, and we always have a ton of fun when we see each other live time.
Yeah, 100%. And I also want to mention is that's really the whole point of LEARNin Local, is that we're really, inverting the way that and modernizing the way that people network. Is that typically you meet people online first and then meet them in person later. So essentially we're utilizing that concept and hoping to popularize that with our community. So
yeah, so that's fun. And then we've got, oh my God, this one is epic. Speed, Networking, Connect, Collaborate, Grow. This is at the University Club, which is a private club. So if you want to get a sneak of that, on the top floor of Symphony Towers overlooking all of San Diego, downtown San Diego, Coronado. That is on Wednesday, July 22nd from 6 to 8 p.m. RSVP is required. Once again, there's a Eventbrite for that as well. And, there is a dress code at the club. You want to look sharp and show up looking your best to connect, collaborate, and put deals together.
I know. I appreciate you. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Coach Rue.
Absolutely. Hey, I really appreciate everyone being here. I know that we're over time, but again, we're doing our best to revolutionize the way people network and essentially be seen. We're making it easier for folks. Everyone that you've seen today, Tracy, Martin, Stephanie, Nicole, and John, and Aris and Mike had to leave a little bit early, but we're making it easier for professionals who have the experience and expertise to show up. We don't have any time to do much of anything else, but we are here to market and network ourselves here on the show. I really appreciate you guys for being here. If you're not part of the Academy already, go to join.learninlocal.com. We could always use more educators who are, in line with our mission to educate, inspire, and empower our listeners and viewers. So thank you all so much for being here. Really appreciate your time and energy. And until next Friday, make it a great week. Thank you all.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Cheers.